He lived among the dead, not metaphorically, not spiritually, literally, in a graveyard, alone, at night. They had tried chains. He broke them. They tried shackles. He tore them apart. No one, not a single person, was strong enough to control him. He screamed through the night. He cut himself with stones. The entire region was terrified of him. And one morning, a boat pulled up on the shore. One man stepped out, and this broken, tormented, naked man, possessed by not one, not 10, but a legion of demons, ran straight toward him. What happened next is one of the most dramatic, strangest, most powerful encounters in all of Scripture, and I think it carries a message that most people completely miss. Let's get into it. No chain could hold him. One word set him free. Section number 1. To understand this story, you need to understand where it takes place. Jesus and his disciples have just crossed the Sea of Galilee by boat. The night before, a violent storm hit. Waves crashing over the boat, disciples panicking, and Jesus stood up and said 3 words, "Peace, be still." The storm stopped immediately. So when they arrive on the other side, the region of the Gadarenes, the disciples are already shaken. They've just watched their rabbi command weather, but nothing could prepare them for what was waiting on the shore. Mark chapter number 5, verse number 2. When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. The tombs. The burial caves cut into the hillside. This man had been driven out of the city, driven out of every home, every relationship, every normal space of human life, and had taken refuge among the dead. Verse number 3 to 5. This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain. For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day, among the tombs and in the hills, he would cry out and cut himself with stones. This is a man completely destroyed. No dignity, no shelter, no community, no peace, not even in his own mind. He is the image of total ruin. Section number 2, the most surprising moment in the story. Watch what happens next, because this is the detail most people read right past. This man, who broke every chain, who terrified an entire region, who no human being could approach, ran to Jesus, not away from him, toward him. Mark chapter number 5 and 6. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. Think about that. The demons inside him, a legion of them, recognized Jesus from across the water, before Jesus said a single word, before he performed a single miracle on that shore. They knew who he was, and they were terrified. Verse number 7. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." The demons, speaking through this man, acknowledge 2 things instantly. First, they know Jesus' identity, Son of the Most High God. Second, they know his authority. They don't challenge him. They don't threaten him. They beg. Here is something that should shake you. The religious leaders of Israel, the Pharisees, the teachers of the law, the most educated men in the nation, spent 3 years debating whether Jesus was really from God. But the demons, they knew in seconds. Hell recognized heaven before Israel did. Section number 3. What is your name? Then Jesus does something unexpected. He doesn't immediately cast them out. He asks a question. Mark chapter 5, verses 9. Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" Why does Jesus ask this? Some scholars believe it was to draw out the full scale of what was happening, to make the man conscious of his condition, to begin the process of separating the man's identity from the darkness that had overtaken him. In ancient culture, knowing someone's name meant understanding their nature, their power, their identity. Jesus wasn't asking because he didn't know. He was asking because the man needed to hear it said out loud. The answer comes back, and it's chilling. "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." A Roman legion was 6,000 soldiers. 6,000. This man wasn't haunted by a dark mood or a bad habit. He was occupied, completely, by a vast, organized military force of evil. And he had been living this way, alone, in a graveyard, for years. But notice, even now, even in this answer, there is a man still in there. The demons say, "We are many," but the man says, "My name." Somewhere inside the chaos, buried under 6,000 voices of darkness, there was still a person, and Jesus came for that person. Section number 4. The pigs, the cliff, and the power. Now the demons do something that tells us everything about their nature. They beg. Mark chapter number 5, verses 10 to 12. And he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. The demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs. Allow us to go into them." Think about this. A legion of demons, 6,000 strong, and they are negotiating with Jesus, begging for mercy, asking permission. They can't move without his say-so. This is not a balanced standoff between good and evil. This is a commanding officer dismissing soldiers who have no choice but to comply. Jesus gives permission. The demons enter the pigs, about 2,000 of them, and the entire herd charges down the cliff and drowns in the sea. 2,000 pigs. Dead. In seconds. And the man? He's standing there, breathing. Free. Now, I want to stop here for a second, because some people read this story and ask, was it fair to destroy those pigs? What about the farmers who lost their livestock? Here's what I'd say. One human soul, fully restored, is worth more than 2,000 pigs. Jesus has always been in the business of valuing people above property, above economics, above convenience. He still is. Section number 5. The image that undoes everything. The townspeople hear what happened and come running, and what they find stops them cold. Mark 5:15. When they came to Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons, sitting there, dressed and in his right mind. Sitting, dressed, in his right mind. 3 small details, but they are the opposite of everything this man had been. He used to run wild. Now he's sitting. He used to be naked. Now he's clothed. He used to be out of his mind. Now he's clear, calm, present. And the crowd, instead of celebrating, is afraid. Verse number 15 says, "They were afraid." Why? Because this man's brokenness had become familiar to them. They had learned to manage him. Chains, distance, avoidance. His destruction had become a system they understood. But this? A man completely transformed? That was something they had no category for. Some people are more comfortable with your broken version than your restored one. Not everyone will celebrate your healing. Some will just be afraid of who you've become. Section number 6. Why Jesus said no, and what that teaches us. Now comes the part of the story that I think is the most overlooked. The man, now free, now sane, now himself, wants to get in the boat with Jesus. He wants to follow him, go wherever he goes. And Jesus says no. Mark 5:19. Jesus did not let him, but said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." Go home, not to Jerusalem, not to the temple, not to the disciples' inner circle. Back to the people who had chained him, the people who had given up on him, the community that had exiled him to the graveyard. Jesus sent the first missionary to the Gentile world, and it wasn't Peter, or Paul, or John. It was a formerly demon-possessed man who used to live in a cemetery. His past wasn't a disqualification, it was his testimony. And verse 20 says, "So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis, 10 cities, how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed." 10 cities, from one man, who had nothing to offer but the story of what Jesus had done. That's it. That's the whole qualification. Not a degree, not a platform, not years of ministry experience, just, "Let me tell you what he did for me." Here's what I want you to walk away with today. This man was as far gone as a human being can get. Naked, homeless, tormented, isolated, forgotten. And Jesus crossed an entire sea, in a storm, specifically to reach him. Not a crowd, not a synagogue full of people. One man, in a graveyard that no one else wanted. If you have ever felt like you are too far gone, too broken, too loud, too much, too lost, I need you to hear this. Jesus got in a boat for you. He doesn't ask you to clean yourself up before he comes to the shore. He just comes. And whatever has had its hands on you, whatever has chained you, whatever has driven you out of the life you were supposed to have, it has to bow, because Legion bowed. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for more stories like this every week. And drop in the comments, what did Jesus set you free from? I'll see you in the next one.